I'm Maximus Analysis here for August 26, 2015. Right before the closing, you can see that they gave basically a buy to close program right now. So let's see where this one ends up. You see the hourly, and it was choppy. Again, it closed near the lows, came back and didn't break the high. So we're back in oversold territory. So we got to see how this one closes into, and see if we get another lower high from here and see if we can continue down for some more downside potential. Basically breaking this low brings us down to that 1800 level very quickly. So again, let them again, they got to prove themselves both sides. They got to prove themselves to the upside, and when they have a bounce, they need to prove themselves as well. You don't just blindly take. They haven't broken a high as yet. So until they break a high, they broke this low and then recovered. They haven't broken a high yet, so you haven't got a buy signal as yet. So just keep patient. NQ, again, they've broken this high here. We just want to see where they close. Again, I thought it was going to roll really hard into today. Didn't. That's fine. But again, they're under the 200-day moving average. So if they give a couple of days, which again, we don't know which side of the house they're going to break up first. So I don't know if they're going to crush the weekly calls or the weekly puts. But if they continue and just get up to like this area around 4,300, it could be back to the roll side. So don't let just 1 or 2 days say, okay, some people might look at this and say, oh, this supply area is what's really holding. I'm not going to bank on that one blindly, okay, with the way that it was pushed off a cliff going into recently. 2 days ago, we were down 1,000 on the Dow going into open, and the buy program stepped in. So again, we see the same thing going on here for the YM. If we break it down to a 60-minute time frame, we could see that they need to basically close this one near the highs, or they could continue. And again, if they break the low of this hourly candle, which would be around 16,000, you know, we'll see what they do going into overnight, because that would be the real kicker. See what they're going into overnight. Again, IWM is just basically almost like an inside bar, quite honestly, but it did have intraday strength going into the to the close. So again, if you break it down, basically intraday, you see that they basically came all the way back up. So bulls have control so far, but again, if you look in the higher time frames, how much juice do they really have? Apple, I thought it was going to roll over again. It's still an inside day. So again, it's an inside day for this huge bar down. And again, a break of this low of 105, and they're gonna really gap that. They can move that one down. I'm not gonna say they can gap it down, but I wouldn't be looking for longs as yet still, because again, they still have not gotten above this 111, 112 area. They're closing near the highs, but we want to see how much juice they have going into that. Netflix, again, Netflix breaks below this low. We could see some more action to the downside. It's just breaking this high into the closing minutes. So here you go, looking at the intraday action, they just got above this previous high, and they're barely above it. So we want to see where they close this in the next 10 minutes and go from there. We had a very sideways action on the crude. It was, again, the report. I tweeted that out early this morning. So again, you can see that basically the report came at 10:30, and you see this huge movement right here. It stayed in there, and again, this is the 15 minutes, so you can see how choppy it's been. And again, I'll pass on something like this, but again, on the daily time frame, we can still see that things are still in the downtrend. So if they break the low here, they can still go back and get the 37 and potentially 33. They actually look like they're going for it now. I was kind of surprised to see how much volume, because it closes at 230. And if they break this low of 38.87, it looks like it can continue for some downside, maybe overnight. So we'll check that out and see where it opens. We have TLT gap down. We have the VIX is given a little bit of movement. Again, if this VIX breaks above this high of 35.62, it will continue. So again, I use the charts like anything else. So again, we'll see how this one, you see the huge spike in volatility. And again, if we have it go up some more or break above this high, we could see some more downside potential. So we got to be cautious of that. Dollar, Dollar is just creeping up a little bit, but if we look at the weekly, we can see that again it's a huge bar. So we'll see where it closes on the weekly. We're on Wednesday. Let's look at the FXI, which is China, and you can see that we still have a lot of work to do regarding China, how bad it looks just from the chart. Okay, because if they pop up to like this 45 region, they could still roll this back over, and this is way, way, way too early to talk about that one's out of the woods. So again, we'll see how they close this one today, but I think they'll close looking strong. Buy to close program was put into place, and we'll see how this goes for tomorrow. So again, we'll really check out the smaller time frames and see how it looks, because you got volume right now, but in overbought territory. So we're going to see how deep the retracement is, and they don't want to get below this 1874 area overnight. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty much flat except for some weeklies that I got on some names. Well, just one name, but again, I didn't speak about it before, so I won't speak about it if it's successful. I won't speak about it before because I'm not doing a service. So let's see how this one plays out. And again, the ES, I usually just day trade a CL and the ES, so we'll see how this one goes. But again, looking at the SPY, you can see that they're closing it, buy to close program here, but it's just still not out of the woods yet, being that if it breaks this low tomorrow of 188.37, this is just an inside bar for more downside potential. So let's see what they got, see if they're going to pop it up, into this region of 197.32 and go from there. Take care.